So, I don't know if all of you heard yet. Calvin Ridley just got banned for the 2022 to 23 NFL season for sports betting. One of the things I am hoping he's not doing is faking his mental health issues, because earlier in the season he did take a few games off because he was a little mentally unstable. Mentally unstable. I'm not saying that because that's what I thought. He's just said that he wanted to take some time off because he wasn't feeling the best mentally wise, and I hope he wasn't using that time to sports gamble. But let's talk about what this means for him and the Falcons. One of the big questions, of course, is will he return to the NFL? Most likely, he will probably return to the NFL after the season, but I don't know if he'll return to the Falcons, considering, something this big, they just don't normally return to the same team. But this isn't like getting into a fight like Elvin Kamara did, or doing performance-enhancing drugs. So hopefully when he does come back, and if he does come back to the NFL, he'll be performing just as good. Maybe a little less, but, it's not like he can't train while the season is happening. It's not like he can't work out or anything, or still do practice drills or whatever. This actually just came as like a shock to me, because this happened like multiple times in the past where famous athletes or just talented athletes got banned from doing sports bets. And some players think that just because they're doing it under the table, they can do it. Like, no, you're gonna get caught one day. That's just because you're doing it under the table doesn't mean that it's right. And a good chunk of the time you're gonna get caught for it, and then you're gonna get in trouble like what happened to Calvin Ridley. I forgot there was a couple famous baseball players that could have gone to the Hall of Fame, but they didn't because they were sports betting. But I'm just hoping Calvin Ridley does take this time for this season of just learning from sports betting, and I hope he does actually improve on his mental health. And I do hope that he can return to the NFL, not because he's like a good person or whatever, but because he's a talented player, somebody talented. I feel like no matter what the issue is, normally, not unless if it's something that's drastically big, I feel like they still have a chance to come back into the NFL and play for a team. But let's talk about the Falcons and what this means for them. I'm first going to be talking about the receiver spot. Of course, now they traded away Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley is now banned for a year. They still have Russell Gage. I don't know how good he's going to play, but I'm hoping, it doesn't matter if it's like the third or fourth round, but I'm hoping the Falcons can draft at least one receiver this round. Not this round, this draft class, because they just lost two of the star receivers over the last couple of years, and they're willing to pick something up. I know they have Kyle Pitts, but especially with someone like Matt Ryan, who's just out of his prime, it's gonna be hard to just pick that up with somebody like Kyle Pitts. I mean, Kyle Pitts is good, but he's still only now a second season player, and I don't know if Kyle Pitts can just carry the whole team receiving yard wise, and tight ends are also just blocking players. So I don't think Russell Gage is just a talented receiver enough to carry the team like a Devontae Adams or a Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs. Now for Kyle Pitts, I could see him definitely having at least 1,200 yards this season. At least now 7 or 8 touchdowns. I think in one of my earlier vids, I was saying he was going to have 900, 1,000, maybe a couple. But now since, Calvin Ridley's gone, Julio Jones is gone, that was since last year, but they have two of the prime receivers out, and unless they get another receiver that Matt Ryan is going to throw to a lot, I think Kyle Pitts is going to have another just breakout season. I think he's going to get a lot more touchdowns. He's definitely going to be getting more than one, but I can see him having a few hundred more receiving yards this season. Or if the Falcons could just pick up some veteran player, like how the Packers picked up Randall Cobb, because Randall Cobb worked well with Aaron Rodgers in the past, or just pick up somebody that Matt Ryan can work well with. That so it isn't just, Russell Gage most of the time, or it isn't just Kyle Pitts most of the time, because, Kyle Pitts is young, and I don't, he's a talented player, and you don't want to put too much pressure on him because then he's just going to get injured. But honestly, I'm just hoping for the best for both Calvin Ridley and the Falcons. So let's wait to see how this turns out. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Peace.